Classcraft is a unique way to motivate your students by gamifying your class. With such an interesting and unique approach, your class is sure to be memorable. Let's start things off by taking a look at the Classcraft demo. Classcraft is designed to run for a semester or a whole school year. As a teacher, you manage the game. To play, you need a computer and a projector. If the students have their own device, they can log in to enhance the game experience. Every student has a character. They also belong to a team, or clan, of typically 4 or 5 other students. Each player has 4 different stats: health points, action points, which they spend when using powers, experience points, allowing students to level up, and gold pieces, used to customize the look and feel of their avatar. What motivates students to play is being able to earn special powers by leveling up. Powers give students real-life privileges in the classroom, such as eating in class or getting a hint on an exam. Students gain powers through experience points. You award them when they behave in a way that contributes to their learning. Here are a few examples of ways that they can gain experience points. You can customize these any way you want. Every time the student reaches 1,000 experience points, they level up. Upon leveling up, they earn new powers and classroom privileges. Let's take a look at some student collaboration features. Students can lose health points if they misbehave in class, or for some other reason you designate. Here are a few examples. If students lose all of their health points, then they fall in battle. When a student falls in battle, they receive a random real-life consequence that you create at a prior time. Falling in battle also negatively affects everyone else on the student's team. Of course, students don't enjoy upsetting their peers. This method helps keep them focused and helps with classroom management. Some cool features we'll be going over include a random daily quest or event, and the ability to turn a quiz into an epic battle versus evil bosses to win treasure. Parents can even join in on the fun by following along with announcements, and they're even able to reward their children if the children do their homework. Classcraft was designed to be flexible and easy to use, allowing you to gamify anything you teach. You can customize every aspect of the game to really allow for easy implementation into your class. Now that we have a general understanding, let's get started with a demo class. In the initial dashboard, you can see the current status of any student. Here, we have our student Priscilla, and behind her are her teammates. We can view all of her stats. We can view her teammates by clicking on them in the picture or simply clicking their name at the top. To the left here, we can see a full list of students. And these icons up here just allow you to view the same information in different layouts. The options to the left are all the game features. We can click the top icon to see a more descriptive view of these features. Let's start out by clicking Teacher Tools. Here, we can see all of our classes as well as Classcraft tips and announcements. Let's take a look at our next feature, Random Events. Today we see our event is challenging a random team to speak like pirates for the class period. If they manage this successfully, then they are given 150 experience points. It also says the entire class must call the teacher captain, or they will lose 1 health point. Now we need to pick the random team, and that brings us to another feature of Classcraft, the Wheel of Destiny. The purpose of this feature is to simply select a random student or team. Here's where we can add and manage class content. Here we can see that I have a section created. Each section can have many points that include general announcements, discussions, or assignments. Students can be awarded points for reading the post or turning in an assignment related to the post. Let's move on to quests. There are currently 3 quest types to choose from. Let's go ahead and choose Adventures in the Wild, otherwise known as boss battles. The teacher has complete control over bosses and can add or edit them. It could be a good idea to make boss battles coincide with a big test. The bosses should be hard to defeat, so the students would need a lot of health points to bring down the beast. Here, we've chosen the easiest of all bosses to face. You can choose to have a random student or teams face off against the boss. The questions come up, and the teachers allow the student time to answer before clicking the check mark. The correct answer then shows, and the teacher must then choose the check mark if the students answer correctly, or the X button if they answered incorrectly. And then you see an attempt of an attack. Looks like even though our student got the question right, the attack failed. Next question, the student gets it wrong, and the boss unleashes a furious claw worth 550 health points. That's just too many health points for her team to be able to help out. Sadly, they're going to have to let her fall in battle. Again, when a student falls in battle, they must accept the random consequence that has been set up by the teacher prior to the engagement. In this case, we can see our student got lucky and nothing happens to her. However, because she fell in battle, her team must also suffer. Each team member loses 10 health points. Unfortunately, for this team, the outlook is grim, as none of them have enough health points to survive. As a result, each team member will also fall in battle. Looks like Royal wasn't so lucky with his fate, and now he has detention after school. In this example, detention is obviously a bit much. Of course, the teacher is in complete control of these random consequences. Diego has to bring a treat in for the whole class, and nothing happens to Esta. When a player falls in battle, they face the consequences, then they have their health points replenished by the teacher. Now we say our final goodbye to the not-so-ferocious boss that took an entire team down. Let's take a look at the White Mountain Trek, otherwise known as the Countdown Quest. It's a simple feature that allows you to set a timer. You could use this feature to see how many questions each student can answer in 5 minutes. The students with the highest percentage of correct answers could be awarded the highly coveted gold pieces. And our final quest, the Forest Run, is simply a stopwatch. It feels sort of redundant with the Countdown Quest, so there's no real need to go into detail here. Moving on, let's take a look at the Import Grades feature. It's pretty straightforward, allowing you to input grades students have earned outside of Classcraft. In this case, I'm going to submit results from a pop quiz. As I add the grades, you can see the higher the grade, the more experience points they are awarded. Our next feature shows all the sentences that have been given to the students that have fallen in battle. The teacher always has the ability to edit a sentence by clicking this mysteriously hidden button at the bottom right portion of the screen. Let's say we feel bad about one of the students being randomly sentenced to detention, but we still want the option for detention to come up for students that may deserve such punishment. In this case, we can simply edit the detention scenario to say detention or extra study time, giving the teacher a final say over randomness. As you can see, we're on a page that allows us to edit all of the settings of the game. I'll show you a more direct way of getting to the screen after we're finished going over the final 2 game features. Our next feature gives us the ability to chat with students and their parents. Of course, most of your interactions will happen in person. However, this feature can be useful for general announcements that affect gameplay. Perhaps you can even issue a secret quest via this method. I also think the ability to post announcements to parents is quite nice. And for our final feature, let's take a look at the analytics. This feature allows us to see the performance charts for each student as it relates to their various points. Finally, let's take a look at how we can edit all of the settings of the game. Click on the green home icon, and click on the settings gear icon next to your class. And now we have the ability to edit, add, or delete all of the settings related to gameplay. This can include behaviors, powers, sentences, and random events. There are even advanced settings that we can change that include game settings, interface, import settings, and the ability to completely delete our class from Classcraft. I hope you enjoyed this overview of Classcraft and would love to hear about your experience if you can successfully implement it into your classes.